Good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of The Gavel, featuring attorney Ana Toledo. Ms. Toledo is the senior attorney and general counsel to Targeted Justice. She has a background in constitutional and environmental law and is an experienced litigator, including 2 cases at the U.S. Supreme Court. And here's Ms. Toledo.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 59 of The Gavel, a podcast dedicated to delivering the latest news and critical updates to the global community of victims of government weaponization, and alongside important developments in my mission to achieve freedom from modern-day slavery. Today is Friday, July the 3rd, 2026. And this episode constitutes a permanent record of our community's fight to end government weaponization and torture. I'm your host, Ana Toledo, a Puerto Rican attorney with over 30 years' experience litigating civil rights, environmental law, and First Amendment law cases. I relocated to Washington, D.C. to expose and combat the government weaponization and lawfare. This week, as you know, has been amazing, not just for the more than 300,000 victims in the United States, but the victims around the world. It is my goal, my mission, to expose the illegal program that has been unleashed against average Americans and civilians around the globe. This exposure is an essential step to shut down this illegal, unacknowledged special access program. Once it is no longer covert, it can no longer operate. That's the key of it all. And I'm counting on each and every one of you to expose it. We fight for an end to torture and full accountability for the government and private actors that are responsible, and obtain justice for all, as well as retribution and trying to put our lives back together. This week has been amazing, monumental. Nothing that a year ago, just think about it. A year ago, would you have thought we were where we are now? We would be where we are now? I don't think so. It's been incredible, and I want to share it with you because it is my positivity or positivism and my belief that things are going in the very right direction. So you have to buckle up. Please remember to share, just like, it doesn't cost you anything. Like it for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe. Remember, we are shadow banned, censored, throttled, and we need your support online in order to flourish. I'm gonna start today because today is a day that probably the criminals are gonna be all over it. And I'm going to read some parts of Psalm 37 that I have to thank Jill for calling my attention to it. I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's very long. I just chose some verses that I think are so appropriate for our fight. And besides, we need a little time for the rest of the community to get in because I have a lot of important information to share with you today. So here it goes. Trust in the Lord and do good. So shall thou dwell in the land, and verily thou shalt be fed. For evildoers shall be cut off, but those that wait upon the Lord, they shall inherit the earth. But the meek shall inherit the earth, and shall delight themselves in the abundance of peace. The wicked plotteth against the just, and snasseth upon him with his teeth. The Lord shall laugh at him, for he seeth that his day is coming. Yeah, their day is coming. The wicked have drawn out the sword, and have bent their bow, to cast down the poor and needy, and to slay such as be of upright conversation. Their sword shall enter into their own heart, and their bows shall be broken. For the arms of the wicked shall be broken, but the Lord upholdeth the righteous. The Lord knoweth the days of the upright, and their inheritance shall be forever. Wait on the Lord and keep his way, and he shall exalt thee to inherit the land. When the wicked are cut off, thou shalt see it. But the salvation of the righteous is of the Lord. He is their strength in time of trouble. And the Lord shall help them and deliver them. He shall deliver them from the wicked and save them, because they trust in him. And aside from congratulating me, a Spanish-speaking Puerto Rican reading this complicated English, I have to say to you, it is that faith that has brought us all the way here. That conviction that God does not abandon any of us, that we are in the right path. So we sometimes tend to think that the evildoers will prevail and there's not going to be an end of this. And I am here to tell you and to remind you that that is not true. We are making strides, huge ones that I didn't even see happening. So we will go after not just the government criminals running this program, but also to the ones that are from private industry and even the plants in our community that pretend to be TIs and they're not. They will all be exposed. And it'll be very humiliating for them because I guess one of the worst things is for them, for the rest of the community to see that they colluded and collaborated with the criminals. What a horrible place to be. So please like, share, and subscribe. And let's get on. For those of you that did not see this week Targeted Justice newsletter, you're missing out. Please remember to check your subscription because the criminals are erasing our subscribers from Targeted Justice and from mine, from Mita. So please check your subscription is active. And so here is the awesome newsletter for this week. I hope you enjoy it.
The MK Ultra hearing has finally been rescheduled for Tuesday, the 30th of June at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Congress will dive in and discover CIA's dark MK Ultra project. MK Ultra never ended.
Catch this incredible Spanish-speaking podcast featuring Dr. Sally Priester and attorney Ana Toledo. Please share this with all Spanish-speaking TIs.
Today we are celebrating the Fourth Amendment. For all of you that don't know, today is the death of FISA 702. People now want to know what's going on. And it is also thanks to you that you have written, that you have demanded attention from your representatives and your senators, and the entire narrative has shifted. There is no renewal on the horizon. I say God conspired to grant us a victory. The way the things transpired, it was just divine intervention.
As I open my eyes, feeling tired and drained, another day as a slave, my hands are tied and chained. My rights as a human were stolen from me. Some days it's hard to stand.
members of Congress advocating against spying on everyday Americans, it's a huge win. They have received hundreds of emails. They can no longer ignore us. These people know who we are, and these people are taking our claims seriously.
If you find yourself lost and don't know what to do, we are right here and show you how to get you through. You'll have what it takes. You'll make it and shine. Come join us and let's cross the finish line. New horizon, new horizon, new horizon, new horizon. Our freedom is in our sight. New horizon, new horizon, new horizon, new horizon. We will win 'cause we're the army of light.
Okay,
Calling all digital warriors. Please like and share this video on all social media platforms. Rather, you know how to edit, sing, do research, check emails. We want you. If you want to volunteer for targeted justice, please email us at tjustice2@proton.me. Put volunteer in the subject line. If you're looking for more targeted justice content, check out our Rumble channel. We have over 500 free videos of interviews, advice, tips, tactics, and more to help navigate through your targeting. We have several items of clothes, merchandise, backpacks, cups, and more at our online store. Shop at Targeted Justice Store. You'll be glad you did. Attorney Ana Toledo has moved to Washington, D.C., so she can be an acting representative for all targeted law-abiding citizens. She is not planning on leaving until she has freed everyone. Please support her and us. We're non-profit and donations are tax deductible. We appreciate your time in watching this video. Take care and God bless.
God bless, and God bless Sean that he is one of those that has taken lemons and made lemonade. He has grown to be such an amazing digital artist and taken it to a next level. I'm just, really proud of him, really proud of the fact that he's not there moping, feeling sorry for himself, and instead has turned the situation into something positive and for growth for him, because he's building a portfolio of how he started and where he is now. And so thank you, Sean. And I urge, I see a lot of people, I just have to say this. I see a lot of people are obsessed with social media, and you waste a lot of your time there instead of doing things that are creative for you. Please look into how much you can time yourself with your telephone, and time yourself how much time you spend wasteful time in social media, and maybe set yourself goals for self-improvement. Because remember, freedom is coming around the corner, and there are a lot of things for you to do. I want to say special thanks and hello to my dear friend Craig, who is here. He sent me beautiful message this week, and I am just, I'm just so grateful for the support that all of you give me, and particularly the prayers. I feel so honored to receive your prayers, because believe me, they are very much needed. The devil is furious with us, and your prayers are very much welcome and appreciated. So now let's start. Okay, the MK Ultra. I'm going to try to answer your questions. I apologize in advance if there's a little noise, because they're having a party upstairs. So please have a little patience if it's too noisy. So the MK Ultra hearings have unleashed the discussion to the public arena, and you have to all be delighted, because think about it. Think about it. Since you have been targeted, when have you heard any independent journalist, any news media organization talking about MK Ultra? Never. It has not been until now that you're seeing it all over the place. Okay. So I want you to, first of all, instead of seeing glass half empty, I mean, you're going to see it half full, and it's really more than half full because it's half full of water and then the other half full of air. So it's entirely full, and that's where I'm going to take you because that's how I see it. First of all, we were there. Let me show you. There was a group of us that were there. Dom came from Great Britain, Dominic Halpin, and he did a lot of interviews. He was amazing. And then we have okay, here we go. This is the exhibits that we were there. These are the two witnesses, Ginser, and then here on the top picture, you will see how you see all the Republicans members of the committee, and the Democrat side is completely empty because not a single one of them went. And when I tell you that my political orientation is not Democrat or Republican, it's whoever shuts down the program, here you have exhibit 1. Let me show you the other one. You see, these are all from the Republican side. None of the Democrats showed up. And I think that's pretty embarrassing because they not only didn't show up, I'm going to tell you what they did, which was ridiculous. So the criminals are trying to make you think that the hearing was a nothing burger. For those of you that, have the subliminal messaging and the B2K, the criminals are trying to say, oh, it was a nothing burger. Nothing's going to happen. That is not true. First of all, because of what we observed there. And second of all, because we're not going to let it happen. And let me explain. I really have to differ. First of all, before going into the details of my take on the hearing, I want to thank 3 volunteers. And I hope I'm not killing your name, Shio, Tim and Tom, that after the hearing went to distribute the flyers in 2 house buildings. They distributed the last flyer that we have created for a legislator, for congressmen, okay? Because they need to understand that that FISA is not about foreign people, but instead about spying on local people. Now, some of you have told me that you're having trouble getting being able to download these. So I am sharing in the chat a Proton Drive link where I'm going to be I already uploaded this one, and I'm going to be uploading in a good PDF resolution the rest of the flyers, so you can, and this link, I'm going to have it in the Targeted Justice website. So do not fret if you can't get it now. But I promised her that I would be putting this link up because this is where I still have to upload the one about mass formations and the other ones. So you can download it. Especially, remember, always carry one that is like this one, but that says "Attention Police." Okay, attention police, they are lying to you. They're all going to be there. Now, remember, FISA 702, in my opinion, it's a corpse, but we have to make sure they don't revive it into a zombie, okay, into a weekend at Bernie's, like Mitch McConnell there. So we have to make sure that if this ever comes back again, they need to not allow it to go by. And most important, they have to prohibit the purchase of our data from data brokers, which is one of the projects that Senator Wyden and Ron Paul have. Okay, so that's that. You're going to have that Proton Drive link that you can share with anybody and download them. Now, for those of you that has asked me how many TIs went there, we identified about 15 of them that came to us. Dominic interviewed most of them for the next film he is making. And some even drove from Colorado. I'm very grateful. Dawn, Christine, and Finan, they came from Colorado, 26 hours driving. I take my hat off. But I do have to say there should have been more. In this tri-state area, Virginia, Maryland, and DC, we know for a fact that there are tons of TIs, and there is no reason for them to not have been there. There was one woman who she didn't get interviewed by Dom, and she's this very elegant, lovely lady. And she didn't, she didn't come out in public like, I'm a TI, but she did talk to me. And it was great to have that support there. So for the next hearing, because I'm sure there's going to be more, this is the fight of our lives. If you need to commit to doing something to shut down the program every morning you need to commit. What am I going to do today to shut down this program? And now that MK Ultra is in the lips of everybody, and as I'm going to talk in a little while, Havana syndrome, guess what? This is our moment. This is our moment. So as I said, only present were the Republican members of the task force. On this committee is called the Task Force on the Declassification of Federal Secrets. Now, many of you have this is the committee here. Well, that Jasmine Crockett, she already lost. And so there you see the Democrat members. So if any of these ones here are your representatives, I urge you to write to them and say, how dare you not go, number one, and how dare you send that witness that I'm going to talk about, that you really demonstrated you don't even care about your constituents by sending someone that had absolutely nothing to do with the hearings. So they sent this woman to disrupt and obstruct. She was a former NIH employee, and she knew nothing of MK Ultra. They just sat her there, I think, to mock. I'm not kidding, to mock us. That's the kind of people they are. So the good thing is that the ones that were there, like my mom used to say, it doesn't matter. The ones that didn't come, we didn't need them. We needed the ones that were there. And that's exactly how it happened. Because the ones that were there, they were really prepared. They were fierce, and they asked the right questions. So we're going to go. I'm going to tell you my perspective from being there, because many of you see the thing that you see on the C-SPAN, and you don't see some of the dynamics going on in there, which is what makes it for me so encouraging. Okay. First of all, the questions by the representatives made it very clear that they know that the CIA criminals are still up to no good. They're aware of it. And you could tell from the questions that they made. I'm not going to repeat a testimony, because for that you can listen to it, okay? But I want to bring to your attention some incidents that I think are really important. For example, the witness Stephen Kinzer, senior fellow at the Watson Institute of the Brown University, left the door open as to whether it is ongoing today or not. Let me type for you.
This task force could also consider trying to determine whether some new incarnation of MK Ultra exists today.
There you have it. Let me play it for you again.
This task force could also consider trying to determine whether some new incarnation of MK Ultra exists today.
So Mr. Kinzer also mentioned that the advances in technology make it reasonable to believe that this new incarnation exists, and that they have to connect, listen to this, the past to the future. So I personally, after the hearing, I went up to him and I gave him some of our flyers. I looked at him in the eye and I said, not only has this never ended, but they're torturing little girls with microwave auditory effect. Here you go. And he promised to look into it. So I'm sure he knows about it. I'm sure he has heard about it. Meanwhile, Tom O'Neill, the other witness, admitted that he imagines the technology is being used. Then I'm going to show you here one interview he had the day afterwards. Oh, wait, hold on. Something happening here with my volume.
Well, as I testified to the committee the other day, I don't know. I mean, I actually know that the CIA lied in '77 when they said they hadn't created any usable technology, and they had. So I imagine, if I had to guess, that they still have it and they're still using it. But I have no evidence of that, so I wouldn't say absolutely yes or no.
There you have it. They are leaving the door open. Now, we have to look into the questions that some of the representatives asked and how that reveals what they know. See, Luna said in her intro, she said, we want to ensure that the CIA never does this again. Mr. Burchett says something, which lie do we believe, referring to the CIA. Boebert was, I really like Boebert. She said, one of her questions was, so what do you see in relation to what was happening then and what we are seeing now, that it could be types of the same kind of program and even using directed energy weapons or the like? This was Lauren Boebert, that she is a champion of privacy, and she's a champion of the Fourth Amendment. Burleson was there. He's amazing. Eli Crane, he's my favorite. He's one of my favorites. He said to Galaxy, who is that witness that they sent in there to obstruct, do you think that the NIH has a trust problem? I did not even know why you were here because you did not talk about MK Ultra. I'm going to talk about the NIH trust problem in a little while in my next segment. But Mace asked, do you think we're still experimenting on humans? And I have personally actually, except for Boebert, I have gone to the offices and Perry of all these people and met with them, with their staffers. Scott Perry made reference to the possibility that it didn't end, and even said, it is my impression that they all know MK Ultra never ended. So, no, I'm sorry. It is my impression that they all know MK Ultra never ended. So if you are in the districts of any of these, Luna, Boebert, Burleson, Crane, Mace, Scott Perry, I urge you to, number one, write to them. Remember, we have to not stop writing. We have to, they cannot forget we exist. So I urge you to write to them, thank them for being so knowledgeable and so well prepared. And most importantly, to not stop the investigation, as scary as it is. Because remember, these people are in a very tough position because the CIA criminals murder anybody. Now, the second aspect that makes me really positive about these hearings is that it unleashed a flurry of media attention from people that had not talked about the matter before. We are seeing Newsmax, Real America Voice, many independent journalists talk about MK Ultra. This had never happened before. It was only 40 years ago that the Church Committee existed. After that, there was nothing, zero. So I really think that that is a huge step in the right direction. Even The Hill reported that a former CIA official, Tracy Walder, stated, I don't believe that the research has stopped. What this means is that these representatives are getting this information and they have the pressure to continue and get to the bottom of it. My third aspect why I'm so positive and encouraged of what happened on Tuesday is that the conversations we have sustained, I personally have sustained, and in here I have to tell you something. I cannot come here and spill all the beans. I cannot come here and tell you who is that I have talked to, because these criminals have a way. I can meet a person and they're really nice, and 3 hours later they're already like looking at me with suspicion, because this is how the criminals operate. But I want you to know that the conversations we've sustained tend to indicate that this first hearing was a stepping stone, and that it's going to continue. And then we're going to have, like, the victims, for example, the original victims like Kathy O'Brien and Juliet Engel, that were the real original MK Ultra victims. And then it's going to continue to the point of being able to bring in witnesses that can talk about its technology, like Richard Lighthouse, who reverse engineered the program. And again, I say to you, well, I'm going to save that for the end. But so let me tell you this anecdote. One of the TIs that was there, our dear Tom, he said to one of the representatives, I am an MK Ultra victim today. And he replied to him, we know, we are trying to get to the bottom of this. And that is what the people criticizing it in the internet don't know, because they weren't there. Because many are so obsessed with protagonism that they have to be like there. No. Let these people do their job. But we have to help them. We have to help them by writing and by insisting that they continue. Thank you for this first step, but you cannot stop, because the rabbit hole is really deep. So I'm going to continue to meet with people in Congress, and very few have seen me. Jill, Dom this week have seen me in my ambiance, and I am getting, each day I'm getting better at it, more fluid. I'm in my element. I was born for this. I love fighting for freedom. I love having a purpose in life. I love fighting for all of you. So, as I've always said, I'm not leaving here until we're all free, including my dear friends in Australia. So I cannot tell you exactly what I'm doing next because of this reason. I'm sure you understand, because we don't want them putting obstacles. So one representative, and this is on my personal, this is Ana Toledo on her personal, this is not targeted justice, but me on my personal opinion, for those of you that want to support one person that is really committed to help people like us, is Tim Burchett. And he's doing fundraising. So for those of you that can spare some money to support him, this is Ana Toledo saying it, not targeted justice. I am saying it because I have seen this man. And he is the real thing. He is the real thing, and he has a heart bigger than himself. It doesn't fit in his chest, his heart. Anyways, the other good news is this. If you pay attention to the news, there is a generalized agenda to bring down the CIA criminals. It's happening. They are the cancer in our government. For example, this is very encouraging. Just this week, I went with Dom to an event to meet and mingle with the people that are fighting for freedom. It's called Feds for Freedom. And it's looking up fedsforfreedom.org. Look them up. And they are sponsoring a class action lawsuit against the CIA. They filed it on June 30th in the District Court for the Eastern District of Virginia. It is a class action lawsuit complaint brought by current and former CIA employees and contractors who refused the COVID-19 vaccine. It was announced by the group Feds for Freedom in that conference that I went to day before yesterday. So it's what they are alleging is the following: is that There were actions taken shortly after President Biden issued the executive orders imposing the COVID-19 vaccine mandates on federal employees and contractors. According to the complaint, the CIA chief's operating officer directed the agency's counter-espionage department, sound familiar, within the Counterintelligence Mission Center, to investigate all unvaccinated employees and contractors. It seems to me they put them on the list. Any employee or contractor who refused the vaccine was treated, get rid of this, as a threat to the United States government and ordered to be investigated as the same. In my humble opinion, I think they added them to the list. The investigations used invasive counter-espionage techniques. Any resulting information was retained in the employees' and contractors' files and could be used by the agency for any purpose it deemed necessary. Does that sound to you like a dossier? Because that's how it sounds to me. The agency later confirmed, in response to inquiries from the Office of the Director of National Intelligence Initiative Group, that thousands of employees and contractors were investigated for this reason alone. The CIA reportedly refused to identify the legal authority for the order. The agency has refused to remove the adverse investigatory material and permanent notations from the affected individuals' personnel files, despite formal requests. I think this is under the Administrative Procedures Act, and I think this is fantastic because I don't see how the CIA can win this unless, well, there are other non-legal reasons for it. Another encouraging thing is follow journalist Steve Baker. He is making strides in his investigation of the pipe bomber, and all roads lead to the CIA. These people are coming down. A new era is dawning. And that is you have to connect the dots, okay? You cannot see things isolated. You have to see the convergence of all these things happening that are going to bring down these criminals, and that's going to be our win. So to the naysayers, tell them, sorry, go take your story somewhere else. You know, I choose to visualize freedom, and I choose to visualize the exposure of this program. So I think that what happened this week was historic. And even though these two witnesses didn't testify or know about the modern day MK Ultra, I am very convinced that this was just a stepping stone in order to open the investigation to other things. And eventually the roads lead to the modern day MK Ultra that was morphed and a fusioned with COINTELPRO, which is the gang stalking psychological operations. Okay, now on to the next topic. Sorry that took so long. I hope that was to your satisfaction, because I put a lot, you should know, I put a lot of love into preparing this for you, because I believe that the best antidote to what the criminals do to you is for you to know the truth, to know that they are not almighty and all powerful. If they were, I wouldn't be here, and neither would Targeted Justice. Anyways, Dr. Len Baer, our expert star, and Targeted Justice and 6 other plaintiffs have filed an unprecedented lawsuit. Let me show you, because I want to explain this to you in very good terms that you can understand. Okay, it's a lawsuit against the Centers for Disease Control and the National Institute of Health. It has been filed in the Middle District of Florida, Tampa Division. This is an effort that it wasn't concocted last month. Dr. Len Baer has worked on this for years. And specifically, last September 2025, he sent petitions to the CDC and to the NIH, and I'm going to talk about those petitions in a little while, which aside from him sending them by mail, I send them by certified mail to Bhattacharya, to the people in CDC, to the people in NIH. I also personally gave them to Dr. Bhattacharya. And for those of you that heard me here say it, in one of those hearings, I sneaked in there and I just jumped through the chairs and I gave them to him and I said, this is done. And I gave him the 15 affidavits from the civilian victims. So many in the community have been triggered to criticize, to say, oh, why I'm not in that lawsuit, without even knowing what it's about. And it's very unfortunate, because instead of celebrating this milestone, which is positive for any victim of anomalous health incidents, it's like throwing, dirt on the soup. Let me explain what it is about and what it is not about. And after I explain it, I'm sure you're going to understand how important and how valuable it is to each and every one of you who thinks is a victim of anomalous health incidents. So back in September of 2025, Dr. Baer sent the two petitions. The CDC petition requested specific agency action within their purview, within their legal authority. Remember, agencies have only the authority that the law grants them. Formal recognition of anomalous health incidents and Havana syndrome as a reportable condition among the U.S. population, not just government employees as it is today. National surveillance, publication, and this is really important for each and every one of you, publication of diagnostic guidance mirroring the official 2019 CDC internal case definition, 2022 Department of Labor Federal Employees Compensation Act, Bulletin 22-03, and 2025 DOD HAI clinical guidance. Health alert network alerts that have been available for government employees, and also parity of access to NIH program, because the NIH has research for treatments for these conditions. The NIH petition requested research and inclusion of civilians, retraction review of tainted studies, civilian access to clinical protocols. Both defendants had altogether ignored Dr. Baer's and targeted justice petitions. This lawsuit does not seek causation. Causation means what causes anomalous health incidents or Havana syndrome. No, it's not about that. This lawsuit does not seek to find attribution, which means who's doing it. No. This lawsuit is not seeking monetary compensation for anyone. No one. It's under the Administrative Procedure Act. And this is how we chose the plaintiffs. They were either diagnosed by Dr. Hoffer or he refused to diagnose them. Dr. Hoffer, for those of you that don't know, is the physician that diagnosed the original Havana syndrome diplomats. He is recognized as an expert on the topic. And he refuses to diagnose civilians. So targeted justice also appeared in representation of all of its members that believe they have what is also referred to as non-kinetic brain injury, which is you didn't receive a blow with a bat. Instead, you have a brain injury, but it's not because of a blow. And this is why in the complaint, and let me show you how we alleged it in the complaint, we alleged the following. Plaintiffs and targeted justice members' prejudiced interests are not abstract or minor. They involve irreversible brain injuries to private U.S. citizens and legal residents who have received no support equivalent to that already extended to U.S. government employees for the exact same condition. Okay? And regarding the prayer for relief, I want you to see it so that you understand that we're not asking for money, for reparations. No. We are asking that the court declare the defendant's failure to act violates the Administrative Procedure Act and formally recognize Havana syndrome, and to order them to formally recognize Havana syndrome as a reportable condition for civilians, issue and publicly disseminate official HAI Havana syndrome diagnostic guidance for physicians identical or substantially similar to the DOD-DOL guidance described herein, establish national civilian HAI surveillance and reporting system. Think about it. That is so that once these physicians in little town Arkansas get the diagnostic guidance, you can show up, get diagnosed, and then they have an obligation to report to the CDC the number of patients that they have diagnosed with these conditions. So there will be an inventory, a national inventory of the incidence of HAI and Havana syndrome throughout the nation. Let that sink in. I don't think I need to make a map for you. I think you should understand how important this is for all of you, even for those criticizing targeted justice for not including them as plaintiffs. So, we also requested that they issue health alert network bulletins and training for public health officials. So this comes at a special moment where the press is not only paying attention to Havana syndrome, to Catherine Henrich reporting. There are other news organizations that are paying attention, and not just to government employees. And just to show you evidence of this, let me show you this video here. Criminals, they're so stupid. Don't let the criminals. Okay, here's
covering this. It's scary.
I'm sorry, let me put it from the very beginning. Like I said, everyone. It's not just Catherine Henrich talking about Havana syndrome. Now it's going mainstream. Okay. Here he goes.
We've been covering this. It's scary when you hear about it happening to CIA officers overseas, people in the military, but have you seen any evidence of directed energy use here on American soil?
There are several instances of individuals being hit in what appears to be both sonic energy and forms of rapidly pulsed microwave energy domestically. Some cases in Florida, some cases in the Delaware, Maryland, D.C. area, and some cases on the West Coast as well.
So not only is one of the utmost experts on directed energy weapons, Dr. Giordano, admitting that there are cases happening all over the nation, but we have the press interested in it. And you have never seen this before. So I want you to not only feel encouraged, but feel really grateful because things are happening. Every door I knock on, every flyer I give out, I know it's making ripples. Every email you send is making ripples. And that's why we have to continue doing it. We cannot stop. So don't let the naysayers bring you down. I know the torture has gone up. In that hearing, there was a criminal there, and I could feel it. I could feel it. And it's not done with cell towers. It's done with two cell phones together. They have to have two, not one. And the people that were there saw me that I was like, I had all this electricity going through but I don't care. I don't care because, like I have said to many of you, see, my dad couldn't walk. If I have to walk with crutches or with a wheelchair, I'm not going to stop because I learned from my father that there's nothing that will stop me. So criminals, tough luck for you. Tough luck for you. It's not going to happen. Now I'm going to change lanes here because something really important came out of the Supreme Court. Supreme Court issued a very important opinion that this week that on the Fourth Amendment. It wasn't a complete win because I'll tell you why. It's called, the case was Chatry versus United States. It was decided on June 29th, hot off the press. So in this Supreme Court case was about geofence warrants, also called geofencing warrants. A geofence warrant directs a company like Google to search its database of users' location history from devices with location history enabled within a defined geographic area, also called geofence, and time period to identify devices present near a crime scene. The data can then be narrowed in stages to reveal more details. In 2019, police in Virginia investigating a bank robbery obtained a geofence warrant from a magistrate directing Google to provide the location data for the devices within a 150-meter radius of a credit union during a 1-hour window around the robbery. The warrant used a 3-step process, and let me get to the bottom of it. They identified petitioner Okelo Chatry's device. He was convicted, and the evidence from the geofence warrant was admitted because the district court applied the good faith exception despite finding Fourth Amendment issues with it. And then it went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court granted the certiorari and said that on the question whether the execution of the geofence warrant violated the Fourth Amendment. The opinion of the court held that law enforcement acquisition of an individual's cell phone location history data through a geofence warrant constitutes a search under the Fourth Amendment. Individuals have a reasonable expectation of privacy in the whole of their physical movements as revealed by this data. Before I finish telling you about this story, notice how important this is for doing, let's say, challenging that Mr. Patel admitted in a Senate hearing that he's purchasing from data brokers real-time data from people without a probable cause. That's huge. And this case clearly says that it constitutes a search under the Fourth Amendment. The court extended its reasoning from Carpenter versus United States, which is a 2018 case, that held that accessing historical cell site location information requires a warrant. Now, the court rejected the government's arguments that short time frames avoid Fourth Amendment scrutiny. But what the court did was, it says the third-party doctrine applies. Users do not truly voluntarily share this data in a way that forfeits privacy expectations. So like when you sign to Facebook and WhatsApp and all those people, I get, because otherwise you can't use the application. Well, what the Supreme Court says is that It's not truly voluntary when you tell them, yeah, okay, you can use my information, because it say, do not truly voluntarily share this information, this data, in a way that forfeits privacy expectation, as it is generated through an indispensable cell phone use and viewed as personal. So what the court did was that it remanded the case, it sent it back, the hot potato, it sent back the hot potato for the lower court to determine if the warrant satisfied the Fourth Amendment requirements of probable cause. If at the time that they got that warrant, that geofence warrant, they had probable cause on this guy, and particularity at each stage of the process. Anyways, I just wanted to share that with you because I think it's a really good case. I think the Supreme Court is starting to see the abuses that are happening in terms of, overreach regarding the Fourth Amendment, and I think it's just really good. Another good news is here, and it is that the normies are up in arms. Normies are fighting for the Fourth Amendment. Let me show you this. There is a huge, I am not in any way, if you're a TI, I'm not in any way promoting that you go and take down these cameras. I'm just informing you that there's an anti-flock movement happening in America where people are, you can see all the videos on X and Facebook everywhere, that they are, I saw one yesterday, I was driving, they spray painted it in the lens and everything, and the solar panel, so it couldn't get light energy. And so normies are waking up and fighting for their privacy rights. And I think this is really good. I think that that we, people are waking up to the privacy that they have lost. Now, before I leave, I have a lot of things to say to you. First of all, I hope you understand that the litigation that we are engaging in, and one that we will probably be undertaking in a little while, I'm going to talk about it right now, it's very, very expensive. So we need your support, not only for me staying here fighting for freedom, which this is the climax, this is the moment to do it, but also because we are fighting the biggest law firm in the world, which is the Department of Justice. So if you can support our work, I would very much appreciate that. Now, number two, very important, if you have not sent your Privacy Act request, I don't want you complaining that, I didn't know. No. We have been telling you that we intend to force the FBI and the DHS to answer your Privacy Act requests. But if you haven't sent it, you're going to stay behind. There's no excuse. You can use the professional services of Jill. She right now has the time to work on it. Jill TJ at proton.me. Or if you want to do it yourself, you can go to the Targeted Justice website. And in there, you see, let me share the screen with you so that you see exactly where it is, because it despite me saying it so many times, for some reason, I don't know why. Let me find it here. You go to legal, you go to the legal tab and you go to Privacy Act, and in there you will see that there are an example, Privacy Act request example, and then you have down there the information, the appeal, the example of the appeal, and you have the information on where to send it. Here, the FBI, the DSAC, the DHS, the TSA, Department of Homeland Security. So there's really no excuse for you to not have sent your Privacy Act request. We intend to file a legal initiative to force these two agencies to provide with all documents they have on you, including any nomination form, any FISA warrant. Are you connecting the dots? This is what's going to make it for you to have 100 attorneys ambulance chasing you. But I just don't know how to explain how important it is that you do this. Okay? So please do it, because I want all of you, all of us, to one day be compensated for your harm, for all the suffering you've gone through. But you need to do this. Now, it's not just for Americans. The people living in the 27 European countries also have a right under the Privacy Act. You can send your Privacy Act request, and they have to give you the information they have on you. Unfortunately, it's only outside of the United States. It's only for the 27 countries of the European community. Now, let's practice gratitude. Next, this is my housekeeping thing. I want to repeat what I said last week for those of you that missed it. You have an amazing team of experts. And when I say experts, are people with the educational credentials and the experience to be an expert in a court of law. For example, Dr. Len Baer. We are so blessed to have a real expert who is a medical doctor, who knows the science, and who has taken it upon himself to become the highest civilian expert on Havana syndrome and anomalous health incidents. Then we have the Lighthouse, who, for those of you that don't know, has a master's in mechanical engineering from Stanford University, reversed engineered the program, and is able to sit in front of Congress and answer any kind of question without security clearance, because he has done the homework. And then you have me, which, for better or for worse, I'm the only attorney that showed up to defend you, but I am not giving up. I'm a honey badger that I'm not giving up. And I think that you should be grateful that you have this team that is not going to stop until it's all over, until we shut down the weapons, and until we can peacefully walk out the door without thinking who's going to get into our house or who's going to follow us around, etc. We are fighting for that, and we are going to accomplish it. But we need your help, and we need you to continue being activists, writing, and download the flyers. I will put, as I said, in the Targeted Justice website. Even though they're there, some people find it that they're blocked. I'm going to share that link so that you can share it with everybody, and you can download directly from that link, from that Proton Drive link, those flyers. Go to your local legislature and give them out. Okay? Please remember, thanks to Jim, the 5-minute intention time. Set your alarm clock at 11:57, and whatever you're doing, stop. And for 5 minutes, do your prayer, do your intention. It works. We just need a little bit more of you to be doing this. Get your look. I have my MK Ultra Never Ended merch. Here's the link. Let me give it to you. Thanks to Ortain and to Sean, who are doing the art for us. They also did they also did bumper stickers for you to put in your car, which is the best form of advertisement. When people start getting normalized with the idea that MK Ultra never ended, it's and it all comes out, it's the end of the criminals. So anyways, yeah, now more than ever, we really need your support, particularly because litigating is a very expensive endeavor, and it's for everyone. You know why? Dr. Baer is already diagnosed, and 4 of the plaintiffs, 4 of the plaintiffs are already diagnosed. This is so that everyone, whether on private insurance or on non-private insurance, everyone, every physician in the nation with a specialty can diagnose HAI and Havana syndrome. And that is a huge step. And I am confident that we're going to succeed. I bless you all. Thank you. Let me see. My color, my shirt is red, but it has like shadow, and MK Ultra never ended. So, and then let me see if there are any questions. If I had any questions regarding the lawsuit, because, okay, I just, if you hear, since not the entire community is here, if you hear anybody, engaging in the slander and in the bad mouthing, tell them, just read the lawsuit before you give your opinion. Remember, Ana also has her own little database, and when the time comes to filing lawsuits, and I'm not going to trust the people that have slandered anyone in our team and Targeted Justice, or me or Targeted Justice, because we have to have integrity. And I think that is something that the criminals mess with a lot. People are easily moved to a place where doesn't come from a good space in our hearts. Okay, so let me see if there are any questions. I'm trying to see here if Privacy Act is not for U.S. citizens. Yes, it is for U.S. citizens, legal residents, and people in the 27 countries of the European community. And the U.S. citizens have a right to claim monetary damages, not so the European citizens. I don't know if there is any other questions. If you can post it now so I can read it. I don't think I'm getting the questions from Rumble. I don't know why I'm not getting questions from Rumble. Okay, Luna staff set up at Community Center Wednesday, June 24th. Well, that already passed. Gulf War Syndrome. Yeah, I went to the movie and I highly recommend it, The Duty to Disobey. And even though it was about the vaccine mandate, I learned a lot about the fact that the Space Force criminals have a duty to disobey illegal orders. You hear me, criminals, that are listening through many means to what I'm saying. You have a duty to disobey. And if you don't know about it, go watch that movie and learn a couple of things. Those were the people that didn't want to get vaccinated. They had a duty to disobey. And the worst part was that 1,000 of them took their lives. 1,000 suicides because they were being forced to take the jab. They didn't want to take the jab, and they were going to be given a dishonorable discharge. And before I leave, I'm just going to share with you something that does not necessarily have to do with targeting, but it was the most enlightening thing I learned. And I like to share the things that I learned from this conference 2 days ago, which was amazing. Feds for Freedom. Follow them. They're amazing. Well, one of the persons there, Mr. Tucker from I think it's the Woodbridge Institute, Institute, said something that was so fascinating. He said that all the lockdowns, all the masks, all the 6-foot distancing, all of those measures that were implemented during COVID had the unique purpose of avoiding creating a mass immunity, herd immunity, so that they could push the pharmaceutical product. Imagine that. It was all a conspiracy to push, driven by the pharma industry, the same criminals that put me in the program. And I'm just so delighted that I'm here and I'm going to expose them all. Anyways, thank you everybody for being here. I think it's been great, and I please keep on supporting us because we really need it. And I'm not giving up. I'm fighting all the way to the finish line of freedom with all of you. So please, let's make it happen. If you have not subscribed to my Substack, do so, because I'm going to be writing a model note letter for your Congress people, so that we have to continue the pressure. We have to continue the pressure, and I need you, for those of you in the United States, to do that. Have a blessed night, and I will be seeing you next week, hopefully with even better news than I had this week. Good night.